Okay, we'll get started on our backs. Bring your blocks if you have them. You can set them underneath your knees as you lie onto your back. Take your feet as wide away from your groin as you want so that it's nice and comfortable here. Adjust your spine so that it's nice and comfortable with the natural arch in your low back. Your shoulders weighing down towards the mat. Light tuck of the chin towards the chest so that the back of your head is resting on the mat. And then close your eyes. And take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and let it out. One more time. Deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and let it out. Now feel your lips and start breathing in and out through your nose. Deep inhales, long exhales. Start tuning into your breath. And start noticing how you feel today. How do those hips feel? How do your legs feel? How does the upper body feel? Notice any tightness anywhere. And then no judgment, just let it go. Just make an observation of it. Taking a few breaths in and out here. Supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Gently open your eyes, reach your arms overhead, point your toes, get a good morning stretch, reach towards both directions, and sweep your arms down, bring both knees into your chest, give them a tight squeeze and rock from side to side. Plant your feet down, move your blocks to the side if you have them underneath your knees. We'll use them later again. And then set up for bridge pose, feet hip distance apart, grazing the backs of your heels with your longest finger. We're going to do some dynamic bridge up and down. On your next inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, tuck your belly button in, exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, squeeze those glutes. Exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press your hips, feet down, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower down. Slowly bringing your tailbone down last. Last time here, this time we'll hold it up in bridge. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, hold it here. Exhale. Take a deep inhale, stay here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and bring it down. One vertebrae at a time. Tailbone comes down last. Happy baby pose. Separate your knees wide. And then bring the soles of the feet towards the ceiling, or parallel to the ceiling. Grab behind your thighs. If it's still tight this early in class, or if you can, then you can reach around through the inside of the leg to grab the pinky side of the foot. Gently, without too much pressure, bringing your knees to the outside of your armpit, rock from side to side. We start class with kind of like dynamic movements rather than static stretches, because we are not warmed up yet. So we move a little bit, and then towards the end of the class, we'll hold some static stretches. And then go ahead and plant your feet down one more time for round 2 of bridge. This time, if you want, you can bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Press your left foot down on your next inhale. Lift your hips up. Squeeze that left glute. Exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time. Tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press your left foot down. Bring those hips up. Exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time. Tailbone comes down last. If you don't like this, go back to regular bridge. Inhale, press your foot down. Bring those hips up. Squeeze those glutes. Even if you press your right knee down towards the mat. Exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time. Tailbone comes down last. Last time. This time we'll hold. Inhale, press your foot down. Bring those hips up. Hold it here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale, lower down, one vertebrae at a time, bringing your tailbone down last. Drop that right foot down. Take your feet now as wide as your mat and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Notice any tightness in the inner or outer hips. Notice any tightness in one side rather than the other. You might notice all this, especially if you did some sort of activity yesterday. Bring your feet back underneath your knees, hip distance apart. And we're coming back to the bridge pose. And if you did that ankle up, change sides, left ankle this side on top of your right knee, pressing that right foot down, inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower it down, one vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press that foot down, bring those hips up, squeeze your right glute. Exhale, lower it down, one vertebrae at a time, tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press that foot down, bring those hips up, squeeze the hip bones up to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower it down, bring the tailbone down last. Last time, this time you'll hold. Press your foot down, bring those hips up, hold it here, exhale it out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last deep inhale, breathe into the hips. Exhale, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time, bringing your tailbone down last. Drop that left foot down to the mat, windshield wiper your legs, taking those feet as wide as your mat or wider, dropping your knees from side to side. Take your arms as cactus arms. And then after a few rounds of windshield wipering your legs, drop both knees to the right. And if you want, turn your gaze to the left. And if you want to deepen the stretch in your left outer hip, you can pick up that right ankle and plant it on top of your left knee. Breathe. And release. Let's change sides. Drop both knees to the left. Turn your gaze to the right if you want, or turn it up to the ceiling. And if you did deepen the stretch on the other side, you can plant your left ankle now on top of your right knee. Notice if this feels good for you. If it doesn't, don't do it. We all have small variations that works well for our body. That feels like we're getting a good stretch where we need it. So tailor the practice for your body. And part of that comes through awareness, comes through trying different things, pushing yourself to the edge, just to the edge, and then backing off when there's any pain. And release. Bring your knees to your chest, rock from side to side. And then extend your legs out. Actually extend your left leg out, dig your left heel into the mat. Your leg is flat on the mat, and hug your right knee in. grab behind your right thigh. We're going to do a little bit of hamstring flossing, and at the end of the class, we're going to hold the hamstring stretch once we are all warmed up. So grab behind your, just below your knee, behind your thigh. And then you're going to extend the leg, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, and hold it here. Here we'll point and flex that foot. Point, flex, point, press the heel towards the ceiling, point the toes towards the ceiling, keep doing that. Exaggerating the movement here. And then release, extending your right leg out, hug your left knee into your chest, grabbing behind your knee here, behind your, just below your knee, behind your thigh. Let's extend and bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, and hold it here. Let's point and flex, point the toes towards the ceiling, flex, reach the heel towards the ceiling, point, flex, really exaggerate, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, hold it here, and then release. Both legs extended out. We're going to do alternate hamstring switches. So bring your left knee in, nose to your left knee, release, right knee in, nose to your right knee, release, left, right, left, right, and release. Cross your, grab a hold behind your knees and rock up and down, cross your knees and come up to a tabletop. Keep rocking up and down to massage your entire spine, and then cross your ankles, roll forward, come to a tabletop. Let's take a few cat-cows just for good measure to get our spinal mobility here. If you want, right away, you can start with a blanket underneath your knees if your knees already are sensitive. Inhale, as you drop your belly, lift your heart up for happy cow pose, lift your tail up. Exhale, as you round your back, press the mat away, gaze to belly button. Inhale, happy cow, tail up, gaze up. Exhale, round your back, belly button comes to the spine, spine reaches up to the ceiling. Again, exaggerating the movements here, pausing where you feel any tightness. Exploring your body with your breath. It's your practice, make the most of it. Last round here. And then come to a neutral tabletop. I'm going to start on my left side so that you guys can see me. On your next inhale, extend your left leg back, really press the heel to the back wall, and then drop the ball of the foot down and move to the front and the back of the mat to get a good calf stretch. Pressing the heel down towards the mat to get that stretch in your calf muscle, and then moving forward. And then pick up that foot, move that foot to the outside of your left knee, left leg. It's outside your mat, and turn and gaze towards that foot. Getting a little bit of a side stretch here on the left side and the compression on the right side. Breathe. Pick up that foot, bring it back. We're going to now do hip carve. So bring that, come back to a tabletop from here. We're going to kind of come into like a fire hydrant, rotate the foot up to the ceiling, and then rotate, bring it down. So big circles with your knee, with your hip and your knee. These are called hip carves. So opening that hip up, rotating it up to the ceiling and bringing it down. So big exaggerated circles with your hip. Reverse the direction. So bringing it up to the ceiling, opening it up, and then bringing it down. up to the ceiling, opening it up and then bringing it down. 2 more like this. Don't worry if you're leaning a little bit to the other side. I just want you to make really big circles with your hips. And then bring it down. Let's go to the other side. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Extend the right leg out. Press the right heel to the back wall. Reach, 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 reach so that you feel a good extension in the back of your right leg. And then drop the ball of the foot down. Move to the front and the back of the mat to get that calf stretch. Pressing that heel down. When you press that heel down, you should get a good stretch in your right calf muscle. Now pick up that foot and move that foot over to the opposite side. It'll come outside your mat and then turn and look at that foot. And come back to the center. Bring your knee back down. Let's do the hip circles now. They're called hip cars. I don't know what car stands for. Fire hydrant, foot up to the ceiling and then down. Open, big circle. Make it really smooth. Big circles with your hips. You're just making circles with your hips in one direction. And then we'll change directions now, bringing it up now, out and in. Up, out, and in. It's okay if you lean a little bit to the side. Just trying to stay as stable as you can and getting the most mobility in your hips, making big, big circles. And bring it back down. Move your hands one palm print forward. Tuck your toes in, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Right away, just start pedaling your legs out, bend one knee, press the opposite heel down to the mat, same side. Same sides. Again, noticing where you feel the stretch. And then roll forward to a plank pose, strong plank. So we're going to do plank pose on one foot to get a calf stretch. And we're going to inchworm our hands back so that we kind of are in a downward facing dog. So take that right foot, plant it behind your left ankle, and then start walking your hands back towards your foot to get that good stretch and walk your hands back out. Let's do 3 more like this. Walk it back, press that heel down, left heel down, walk it to the front. Walk it back, downward facing dog on one foot. Press that left heel down and walk it back to plank. Walk it back and walk it back to plank. Release that foot, drop your knees, child's pose. Come back to the other side, starting with a downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, long breath out. Last one, deep breath in, long breath out. Come back to downward facing dog. We'll do the other side. Start by pedaling your legs out in downward facing dog. And then roll forward plank pose. This time, left ankle behind your right ankle. We're going to walk our hands towards our feet, press the right heel down, and walk it back to plank, single-legged plank. Walk your hands back towards your feet, single-legged downward facing dog, press the right heel down, and then walk it back to the front. Walk your hands back, walk it back to the front, just one more. Walk your hands back, press that right heel down, and walk it back to the front. Drop your knees down, take child's pose. Take a few deep inhales and exhales here. We'll come back to some movement. We'll do cobra pose and then we'll do some stretches for our quad muscle. How do your legs feel now? How do those calf muscles feel? On your next inhale, lift up and roll forward to a cobra pose. Hips down, hands underneath your shoulders, chest up. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, sit your hips back and down, child's pose. Inhale, roll forward, hips down, heart up, cobra pose. Exhale, send your hips back and down, child's pose. Inhale, slither forward, cobra. Exhale, send it back, child's pose. Inhale, slither forward, cobra, just 2 more times. Exhale, send it back and down, child's pose. Last time, inhale, slither forward, cobra pose. Stay here, drop your belly down, hands underneath your shoulders. Exhale all the air out and then take a deep inhale, lift up into cobra, look over your right shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Inhale, lift up into cobra, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Inhale, lift up, look over your right shoulder. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, come up, look over left shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. Wiggle your hips out. Relax here on your belly. Sometimes if you have pain from sciatica or you feel like there's a pain in the IT band, just coming and lying down on your belly helps a little or a lot, depending on where you feel it. Let's come into half frog pose to stretch out our quad muscles. So first come up into Sphinx pose, elbows underneath your shoulders. And now you're going to turn your right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. You're going to prop yourself up on your right forearm and right palm. Reach back with your left hand and grab a hold of your left foot and bring it in close to your bum. Getting a good stretch in your calf muscle. Try to peel as much of the leg as you can. If you want, you can move a little bit dynamically here by releasing and pulling in the foot. And then hold it. Getting a good stretch in your calf muscle, half frog pose, Ardha Bekasana. Breathe into it. And then release. Other side, bring your left forearm parallel to the front of the mat. You're going to prop yourself up on your left forearm and left palm. Reach back with your right hand and pull that right leg in. Again, if you feel like it, you can stay here, or if you feel like it, move a little bit. A little bit of dynamic movement helps us get deeper into the pose. And then after you've done it a few times, hold a static stretch, breathe into it. And release, pick yourself up, come back into a tabletop. And then move your hands one palm print forward, lift your hips up, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep inhale and downward facing dog. And exhale it out. Trying to hold a still downward facing dog now. I want you guys to press your hands away from you, palms away from you, spreading those fingers wide so that you're kind of pressing your chest towards your thigh, trying to bring your chest closer to your thigh. Tuck in your belly button and bend your knees a little bit if you want to bring your hips, sit bones up towards the ceiling so that you can get a nice V shape and your spine elongated towards the mat. Bending your knees a lot helps with this. So the more you bend your knees, the more you can elongate your spine. And then slowly you can start straightening your knees and dropping your heels towards the mat. Take a deep inhale here, holding a static downward dog. Exhale it out. Get that full body stretch. Bring those heels towards the mat. Another deep inhale. Exhale it out. One more time. Deep inhale. And exhale it out. Go ahead and step your right foot between your hands. Drop your back knee for Anjaneyasana. Bring your blocks, if you have them, to the front of the mat. I'm going to do like a dynamic movement here after our Anjaneyasana. So, in Anjaneyasana, if you want, you can just come to a 90-90 Anjaneyasana. This is what is comfortable for you, and you're already getting a good stretch in your left hip flexor. Your right foot is in front. If you're feeling a good stretch, you can stay here. If you want more, bring that right foot forward a little bit more so that you can get the deeper hip flexor stretch. At the same time, I want you to corset your ribs in so that you're not like just flaring your low back out. With your core engaged, move your hips forward and down. Interlace your fingers on top of your right knee. Move that knee away from your body so that you're deepening your stretch. And then leave your right hand on your right knee. Take that left arm. Let's make big circles with that arm. Reverse the direction of the rotation. And then right both fingertips down to the blocks if you want. Inhale as you come into your runner's lunge. Open your heart. As well as you send your hips back, Ardha Hanuman. Fold over that leg. Here you can leave your hands on the block or hold onto your foot. Venki like juice and Toyada do. Inhale, reach your heart forward, lift, drop your hips, lift your heart. Exhale, send your hips back and down, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, forward, drop your hips as you lift your heart so that you can feel that hip flexor stretch. Exhale, send your hips back, extend that right leg. You should feel a hamstring stretch on the right. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, send it back. Extend that right leg. Bring the toes up to the ceiling. Last time, inhale, come back up, runner's lunge. Exhale, send it back. Slowly come up. Now I want to keep your blocks in front. If you want, you can turn the blocks to a higher height. Crescent lunge with hands on your blocks. Hands on your block, or maybe if you don't have blocks, you can even leave your hands on the mat or just come in with your knee on the mat, it's fine. Now, I want us all to come into a supported warrior three. So move the blocks a little bit in front of your foot. Lean forward so that all the weight is on your right foot and lift the back leg up, extend. Both legs are strong and straight. You're pressing the back heel to the back wall. Hips are level, so you're not opening your hips up. Breathe here. Your one straight line from the crown of your head to your heel. Getting a good stretch in both your legs, hamstring on both your legs. Breathe for 3. You can do this. 2. Last deep inhale here. Exhale, step forward to the front of the mat. Move the blocks away if you want and fold it forward. Take deep breaths here. Ragdoll, grab opposite elbows. Sway from side to side. Now, grab a hold of opposite elbows behind your knee and allow your head to release. We're going to come into kind of like a hamstring stretch here. So inhale as you lift up halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. You're grabbing your elbows behind your knees. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Bend your knees a lot and slowly, like a rag doll, come all the way up to standing. Let's do a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskara and then we'll do the opposite side, Anjaneyasana sequence. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it down, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take it back, high plank, hold it here. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest in, Ashtanga Pranama. Inhale, untuck your toes, Cobra pose, feel your heart up. Exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips back and lift it up, downward facing dog pose. Deep inhale here. Exhale it out. Press the mat away from you, bring your chest closer to your thighs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Look between your hands and slowly, one step at a time, walk between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, palms to heart center. And down by your side. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold it forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, take it back to a plank pose, hold it here. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest in. Squeeze your elbows in. Untuck your toes. Inhale, Cobra pose, feel your heart up. Exhale, send it back and up. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. Deep inhale here. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees, look up to the top, and one step at a time with straight legs as much as you can. Walk between your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart center. And down by your side. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold it forward. Release your head and neck. Inhale, lift your head and neck, heart up, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, plank pose, hold it here. A deep inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest in. Inhale, untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet down, baby cobra. Exhale, send your hips back and up, downward facing dog pose. Press the mat away from you, inverted V. So you can bend your knees a little or a lot so that you can lift your sit bones up so that you look like a V. Your elbows are kind of engaged, right? Everything is engaged. Your knees are engaged unless you have a slight bend in them. Your sit bones are trying to lift up. Your heels are trying to reach down. And then drop your knees. Let's go to the other side for Anjaneyasana. Again, bring that mat if you want and your blocks to the front of the mat. Step that left foot forward. Again, 90-90 is okay. If you want more, you can move that left foot forward and lean forward. Bring your hips down, keeping that core engaged to get a good stretch in your right hip flexor this time. Interlace your fingers, hands on your left knee. Move that knee away from your body so that you're kind of deepening that stretch. So you're peeling the flesh away from your hips towards your knee. Kind of like, moving like the skin away from your knees, away from your hips towards your knee. And then leave your left hand here, big circles with your right arm. Reverse the direction of the circles. Fingertips down towards your block, runner's lunge, reach your heart forward. I'm going to make this a dynamic movement. So on your next inhale, you want to deepen your runner's lunge by pressing your hips down. Exhale, straighten your left leg, send your hips back, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, come back forward, lift your heart, drop your hips, runner's lunge. Exhale, send your hips back, extend your left leg. You should feel a stretch in your left hamstring. Inhale, forward, lift your heart. Exhale, back, Ardha Hanuman, half splits. Inhale, forward, drop your hips, lift your heart. Exhale to Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Now, if you want, you can turn the block up to a higher height, tuck the back toes, lift your knee, coming into a crescent lunge, supported crescent lunge. From here, move those black blocks a little bit further from your foot. Weight into the left foot. Lift that right leg up, coming into warrior three. Press that heel back, reach the crown of the head forward. You want a straight line from the crown of the head to the heel. Keep your hips level, which means that if your right hip is trying to open to the side, bring it back in. Tuck in your belly button. Reach the crown of the head forward, reach the heel back. Both legs are strong and straight. Both legs are getting a good stretch. For 3. You look like an L shape here too. Last deep inhale. Exhale, step forward to the front of the mat. Move those blocks away. Let's come to a squat. Feet as wide as the mat. Reach your hands forward. Send your hips back and down. Hold it here. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squat a little bit deeper. Your knees are tracking on top of your ankles. So don't let your knees cave in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come all the way down to Malasana. Elbows land inside your knees. Pry those knees apart. At the same time, squeeze those elbows in. Hold it here, maybe swaying from side to side. Again, to create the dynamic motion, sit up tall. So if your back is rounding, you can place a block underneath your hips or bum, or roll up a blanket and place it underneath your heels, because I want your heels on the mat or on a blanket. And then come down to seated. Bring the soles of the feet together. You want your thumbs inside the arches of your feet. Open your feet up like a book and flap your wings out. Going to do an interesting variation of Janushirasana and butterfly pose here. And we want to test the range of our mobility, right? So let's all start by grabbing a hold of our shin here. So now use your, let me turn and face you guys. You're going to grab your shin with your hand and use your elbows to press your knees down. You're going to take your right leg out. Inhale as you reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold it, Janushirasana. Inhale, back up. Exhale, come back into butterfly pose. Inhale, lift your heart. Reach your leg out. Lift your heart up. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come back into butterfly pose. So we're going to do this a few times on each side. So see if you can you can do it by grabbing your foot. If you don't have the range of motion, you can just grab a hold of your ankle or your shin. Using your elbow to press your knees down. We're going to stay a little bit on each of the poses. So inhale as you lift your heart up. Reach your right leg out. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, fold it into that Janushirasana. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale, use your left elbow to press your left knee down. Half butterfly. Use your right hand to pull your chest forward so that you're getting a good stretch, hamstring stretch on your right leg. Breathe. And your next inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, bring that back into butterfly pose. Inhale, lift your heart up. On the exhale, reach your left leg out, coming into Janu Sirsasana. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold it down. This time you're using your right elbow to press your right knee down, which is in half butterfly. At the same time, you are using your left hand to pull your heart forward so that you're getting a hamstring stretch on the left leg. Breathe. Half Janu Sirsasana, half butterfly. On your next inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, bring it back. Let's do a couple of fast ones here. Reach that right leg out, lift your heart up, fold. Bring that right foot back in, reach that left leg out, lift your heart up, fold. Bring that left foot in, reach your right leg out, lift your heart up, fold. Bring it back in, reach your left leg out, lift your heart up, fold. Bring it back in, see if your hips are a lot looser, flap your butterfly wings. Maybe fingertips behind you, take your feet wide, drop your knees from side to side. Always doesn't hurt to do this stretch. Even if you're taking like a mini break during the day, even a 30-second static stretch hold helps a lot in building long-term mobility. So just come into this pose and hold here for 30 seconds on one side, switch to the other side and hold for 30 seconds. You can do this anytime. Now cross your ankles. Everyone is going to face the side of the mat, the long side of the mat. We're going to come into Parigasana, gate pose. So coming up to kneeling. You can keep those back toes tucked in or the foot is flat, it doesn't matter. You're going to reach that right leg out to the side and your right toes are going to first face the short edge of the mat. Right hand on your right knee, reach up and over with your left. Breathe. Gate pose, Parigasana. The further you reach that foot out, the more you feel the stretch in your right adductors. And the more you reach your left fingers towards the right, the deeper the stretch in your side body and your left hip flexor. Slowly come back to center. And you're going to leave the toes facing out and bring that knee in so that your knee is stacked on top of the ankle. You can keep one hand on your hip, your left hand on the hip, right hand on your knee. You're simply going to move forward and up. Forward and up. Forward and up. So you are facing the side plane, Rinki, right? Is your knee in the side plane with your body or is it out in front? Forward and up. Now one more time, reach that foot out and turn the toes to face the front of the mat. And this time you're going to drop your hands down like you're in a tabletop, but your leg is extended, and try to see how far you can reach that foot out. Your toes are now facing the long edge of the mat. Now sit back towards your heels and come back up. Back towards your heels and come back up. If you don't feel too much of a stretch, you can move that foot more to the front. So move it towards the front of the mat. Sit back, come up, sit back, come up, sit back. Feel a stretch in your adductors here. Sit back and come up. And let's change sides. Reaching the left leg out. You're going to face the toes towards the short edge of the mat first. Left hand on left thigh. Reach up and over with your right hand. This is Parigasana, gate pose, and then we are adding all those variations. So the more further you reach that foot out, the deeper the stretch in your left groin left adductors. And the further you reach your right fingertips to the left, the deeper the stretch in your side body as well as your hip flexors on the right. Imagine yourself being pressed between two panes of glass, right? So you're in a single plane here. Slowly come up. Bring that knee in. Your toes are still facing the short edge. One hand on hip, maybe one hand on your left knee. Move that hip out and bring it back, out and bring it back. People say your knee is not supposed to come over your ankle, but when we walk in normal life, go up and down stairs or go hiking, our knee does come past our ankle. So unless it's painful, it's good to cultivate that range of motion where your knee goes past your ankle. Slowly build it up so that you're not hurting it. Slowly come up. Extend that leg out again. This time toes face the long edge of the mat. Hands drop down so that you're kind of in like a tabletop with one leg extended out. And the further out to the front you bring that foot, the stretch will be deeper. So sit back, come up, 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 and come back to the center. Sit down on your bum, feet in the front, grab the backs of your knees and slowly come all the way to the mat. Keep your strap or scarf close by for a static stretch hold. Extending your left leg out, Hug your right knee into your chest. Bring that strap in and loop the strap on the arch of the right foot. Extend that right leg up. Keep those shoulders relaxed. So allow yourself enough slack in the strap, enough length in the strap so that your shoulders can relax down. You're not reaching up to hold the strap. Hopefully you have a long enough strap. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale it out. Deep inhales and exhales. And with each inhale, see if you can straighten the knee just a little bit more. And with each exhale, let gravity do its work. Allow that leg to fall towards your face. Maybe it falls towards your face just a nanometer more. Breathe into the back of your leg. Both ends of the strap now in your right hand. Use your left hand to keep your left hip down. Gently press your left hip down and then open the right leg out to the side, right side. Again, you're getting a good stretch in your right groin, right adductors. The closer you bring the foot towards the top of the mat, the deeper the stretch. Your left hip wants to roll up, so you're going to use your left hand to gently keep it down. Breathe. Where do you feel the stretch? Noticing everything about your body. Slowly come back up. Now both ends of the strap come into your left hand. You're going to reach your right arm out as a T. And then bring that right leg over to the left, crossing it over your body, stacking your right hip over your left. And you can, if you want, you can turn your gaze to the right. Supine twist variation again. If you bring the foot closer towards the top of the mat, the deeper the stretch, but do what's comfortable for you. static stretches apparently are supposed to build our long-term range of motion the most. So once you're warmed up, gone for a run or gone for a hike, come back and just do 5 minutes of static stretch holds, 30 seconds each stretch. Come back to the center. Release your right leg. Bring your left knee into your chest and loop the strap on the arch of your left foot. Extend it up. Again, just keeping your shoulders relaxed. With each inhale, straightening the leg a little bit more. With each exhale, allowing that leg to fall towards your face. The more you flex your foot, the deeper the stretch goes into your hamstrings. So keep pressing that heel towards the ceiling. This is a static stretch, but it's an active static stretch. It's not a passive static stretch. So you're still engaging those muscles. A passive static stretch will be something like we do in yin yoga, where we just use props and let ourselves go. So here you're actively trying to use those muscles to reach the heel up to the ceiling, the left heel up to the ceiling. Both ends of the strap in your left hand, right hand on your right hip. Open that leg out to the left leg out to the left. Breathe here. While static stretches are the best to do to build long-term range of motion, you don't want to do them right off, like when you wake up in the morning or when your body is not warmed up. You just want to do some little bit of warming up before you hold the static stretches. Slowly come back, both ends of the strap now in your right hand. Reach your left arm out of a T and then twist that left leg over to the right. Supine twist. Your left hip is stacked on top of your right. You can turn your gaze if you want to the left. Slowly come back to the center. Plant your feet down for figure 4 stretch. Right ankle on top of your left knee. Press the right knee away from you. Use your right hand to press the right knee away from you. Flex that right foot. And maybe you already feel a good enough stretch here in your right outer hip. If so, stay here. If you want more, you can thread the needle between your legs and bring that left knee in towards your chest, but actively keep pressing the right knee out. Breathe. You can make ankle circles with your left foot, but the focus is on the right hip here. Release, change sides. Left ankle on top of your right knee. Press that left knee away from you first. Flex that left foot. Notice if this side feels any different already. But if you thread the needle on the other side, then interlace your fingers behind your thigh or over your shin and bring that right knee in. Keep actively pressing the left knee out. One side may feel a little bit tighter than the other, or you may feel that you're not able to reach that far or bring that knee as close. That's perfectly fine. Hold the stretch, breathe. Maybe you make those circles with your other foot. And then release. Bring both knees into your chest. Give them a tight squeeze. Take a deep inhale through your nose here. Exhale, forehead comes to your knees. Give them a tight squeeze, become a tight ball. Inhale here, deep inhale in this tight ball. Hold that breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release Shavasana. Your final resting pose. Make yourself comfortable. If you feel like doing legs up the wall today, it's a perfect day to do legs up the wall. Anything you need to, you can switch me off if you want and just do your thing. If not, we'll all stay for a couple of minutes in regular Shavasana before we end practice with an Om. Slowly start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your head from side to side. Roll your ankles from side to side. Starting to bring movement into your body. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and side out. Roll over to your favorite side, coming into a fetal position, and maybe take a second to think about something that you're grateful for today. And use your top arm, come up to a tall seat and mute yourself if you want to